Facebook Live so you can go to your IMDb page and say you've been directed by Kevin Smith. It will destroy your career, I assure you. Okay, man, thanks for being here tonight. 1 week ago, well, first off, just to let folks know where we are. We are in the great city of Boston at the Boston Comic Con. 1 week ago tonight, I was in London, at the London Film and Comic Con and stuff like that. So everybody that I met, I was doing pictures and signing like I was doing here today, and what you're doing tomorrow as well. So everyone I met, had a British accent and shit, so they were like, they'd say shit like, I love Doctor Who, and stuff like that. When I came here, everyone was like, I love Doctor Who. The accent came fucking thick and fast. It was pretty sweet. It was weird, just having been in London, apparently Boston stole its whole design of the city from that fucking city. Man, I was walking around, I was like, this looks like Boston. And my sister's like, they came from here. But this is fucked up. So I didn't tell anybody this story. This just happened today. So I flew in today. I took a JetBlue flight, and JetBlue motherfucker. And as I got on the plane, I saw Clark Gregg, Agent Coulson. So from the Avengers, and I know Clark a little bit and stuff. So he was like, "Hey, Kevin." I said, "Hey, how are you, man?" And Clark, if you don't know this, is married to Jennifer Grey, the actress Jennifer Grey, who was in Dirty Dancing. So they were sitting next together the whole flight, and the whole flight I wanted to say hi. I was too chicken shit to get up and introduce myself. I knew him, so I just chatted with him. But I felt like a dick that I didn't say anything to her. The whole flight I'm sitting there fucking, you should have said something, man. Here's your chance. And so at the end of the flight, I got up and I was getting my bags, and Clark was just like, I said, "Hey, man, good seeing you." And then she said hello, and Clark goes, "This is my wife, Jennifer." And I said, "Oh my God, here's my moment." I said, "Oh my God," because she was sitting on the aisle the whole time, right, on the flight. She's sitting on the aisle, her husband's sitting next to her against the wall. I said, "I'm so happy to see that art imitates life, man, because you're sitting on the aisle, because nobody puts baby in a corner, am I right?" And she looked at me as if she was like, "That's the 15th time today I heard that, motherfucker." I was like, "I'm sorry, you must get that a lot." She goes, "So much." And I was like, "I gotta be honest with you, I was working on that joke for 5 hours.
Yes, I bet yours was way cleverer than the other ones, because people probably yelled at her, where yours really had context, because she was in the aisle, he was in the window, in the corner.
Look, I like to think...
I liked it.
Thank you, and I wish I pulled it on you. You would have appreciated it.
Or if I was there, I would have been your cheerleader. I'm like, "Oh my God, that's so funny."
She's like, "Oh, I had no idea you had your own hype man." She was really, really sweet about it, man. But it was a weird, wonderful moment like that. Whenever I see somebody who is doing the job long before we did the job and stuff, my heart stops. Just I still, when I see famous people, I get fucking crazy. When I was in London at the Comic Con, I saw Christian Nairn, who plays Hodor. And one of my favorite characters, Game of Thrones version of Silent Bob is Hodor, so I've always been drawn to the character, and I wanted to talk to him so bad and go over and be like, "Dude, that episode was phenomenal, man. I know you're a DJ and that's your thing in life, but Jesus, you got acting chops." But I was too chicken shit to go over, and somebody told him, and so he sent me a photo that said, "Kevin, hold the door."
That's awesome. I've seen him too. When I was in London, he was there as well, and the other cast, a bunch of the other cast members. And I get the same way, where I'm just like, they're in the green room, and I'll walk in, and it's literally like, hold the door, only you can use the Force, Luke. And then Bruce Campbell, Sam Raimi, and I'm always just like, and I'll leave the green room, and people.
Do you only talk to them in movie dialogue, and that's what that was?
Well, in my inner monologue.
Mark Campbell's like, "We know each other." Use the Force, Luke.
Only in my head. I mean, if it's someone I've worked with, I'll say hi and stuff. But even then, it's just it was really nice from Marbles of S.H.I.E.L.D. is Brett, and I ran into him before at a con, and we chatted a bunch. But it was only because we were in an area where there was nowhere to go. And he's super, super nice. But again, I feel like unless I'm sitting next to, like tomorrow I'm sitting next to Alan Tudyk?
Alan Tudyk, man.
Yeah, which I think
when fucking one dick's not enough, you call two dicks.
Yeah, exactly. And he's someone who I want to chat with, and I know he's sitting next to me. So today I was like, tomorrow when he's sitting here, do I just go say hi, or do I like start looking at him, and then all of a sudden he's like, because you know I had this story, I have to tell this really quick. And I don't know if I should, but years and years and years ago at San Diego Comic-Con, it was probably maybe 2 years into us doing movies and being at cons, signing and taking pictures and saying hi. And so it was all new to me. And we were sitting right next to the whole Firefly cast. And right through the curtain, there was like a curtain in between Kevin and I and then Firefly. And every once in a while, like the curtain would swing open, and on the end was the companion, and I'm horrible at names. The girl who played the companion in Firefly.
Jade something? They're saying, oh, Marina Baccarin?
Yes.
That, the lady from Homeland?
Yes.
Who was in Deadpool?
Yes. She was in
on Firefly?
Way before.
What do you mean the companion?
So in there, they don't call them hookers. Firefly.
I can already see where this is going, man. You confused fictional life with real life, and you were like, space hooker!
How much do you eat the pussy? No.
Wait. How much? What happened? You saw her through the curtain?
Kept seeing her through the curtain.
She's a great actress, man. She's
great.
Wonderful in Deadpool.
Yeah, and she hadn't been in those movies yet. They didn't exist. But I love Firefly, and I love Serenity, and I was like, and I think she's a beautiful girl, and I was like looking over, and then like looking over and stuff. And finally, like we were done signing, and like he went back, whatever, and I like peeked through the curtain and shit. And peek through the curtain again, and I'm like, do I go over and maybe see if they'll sign something or say hi? And all of a sudden, I'm like, I peek through one more time, like, I'm gonna go over, I'm gonna go say something, I'm gonna say hi. And I look through the curtain, and she goes, what the fuck are you looking at? I was like, oh God! And I like threw up, I was scared, and I was like, you're a hooker! No, I didn't say that. I really did. I just got scared.
She scared you, so you turned your coat brown, did you?
Yeah, I didn't. Yes, and I didn't know what to do, so I just was like, okay, I'm sorry. So I'm hoping tomorrow I'm not like. And then Alan's also, he's like, what the fuck are you looking at?
Is that what you think Alan Tudyk sounds like?
I do. Yeah, just
because my friend heard for a big surprise.
No. I know he knows.
He's lovely. He'll talk to you and shit. Like, he's a funny dude.
Yes. No.
What did I see? Just before, I was backstage and I saw Barry Bostwick. Barry Bostwick, of course, not just from the Rocky Horror Picture Show and many other things, but to me, he's from Megaforce, man. Like, that's deeds, not words. That was the ad for Megaforce that was on the back of every comic book when I was a kid. And I love that logo, deeds, not words, and shit like that. And he was on the image. He was the poster image for Megaforce. So, you know, oddly enough, deeds, not words, that dopey little advertisement for a movie is something that has informed my entire life. I looked it up when I was a kid. I was like, what does that mean? My brother explained it to me. He's like, you do it rather than talk about it. And it's kind of been like the moral fiber of the rest of my existence. But I can't go up to Barry Bostwick and say, one time you were in an ad for a movie I never saw that changed my life. But still, it would mean something. And I saw, when I was at London Con, I was in the hallway, I was seeing like every person from Game of Thrones, because it was over in England, and that's where they all are and shit. So I saw the dude who plays Euron, the Theon and Yara's uncle, the guy who like took over, spoilers, who attacked the ship with fleet and shit. And he was like, on the show, he's like the new Ramsay. He's kind of a total dickhead and stuff. But in real life, he seemed like a real sweet guy. He was with his wife and his kid was like bawling up a storm, like, ah! And I looked at him, he caught my eye, and he points at the girl and he goes, she saw one too many orcs. It's really fucking sweet. I saw a dude look like Terrence Stamp, man, Zod, from the fucking Superman 2 movie and shit. And I was like, my God, that's the best Terrence fucking Stamp cosplayer I've ever seen in my life. And they were like, that's Terrence Stamp. And he looks phenomenal and shit like that. And everybody that took a picture with him was kneeling in front of him, you know?
Oh, that's what the gentleman with Barry back there said. He's like, oh my God, I thought you were a Kevin Smith cosplayer.
Yeah.
And you were like, Game Look 32 and shit, but
people ask me that, and they're like, I thought you were a Kevin Smith cosplayer. I was like, then I really failed because I was going for Kevin James. When I was over there, I took my mom to Paris. She was sick like a year ago. I had gone like a year ago over to Edinburgh Film Festival, and so I was over in Paris. I took a picture in front of Notre Dame, and my mom, like when she was in the hospital, you know, she was like, I said, Ma, you gotta hold on. She goes, I don't want to go yet. I've always wanted to see Notre Dame. And I was like, really? Like, she never expressed anything like that, like wanting to go someplace or having a bucket list or anything like that. And I was like, that's doable. Like, I just came back from there. I could totally get you there. As soon as, like, you're well enough to travel, let's go. So she wound up going with me. My brother and my sister and my mom, we all flew over first to London for the Comic-Con, and then we went to Paris and saw Notre Dame, and she was crying and shit. It was beautiful. I Facebook Live the whole thing. I was like, cry, motherfucker. And she's like, I'm not the motherfucker, I'm the fucked mother. But it was lovely. And then we came home, and at the moment we landed in the States, it was my birthday. I turned 47, and then the next day, or 2 days after that, we had this big day at the Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash, the comic book store that we have in Red Bank, New Jersey. It's been open for 20 years. This is the 20th anniversary. So we wanted to, we wanted to do something cool to celebrate it, and also we're currently shooting the 7th season of a TV show we do called Comic Book Men. So we wanted to shoot that. We felt like that'd be a cool episode if we do something surrounding the 20th anniversary of the Stash, and we tried to come up with what that would be, and Walter Flanagan came up with the idea of a giant Jay and Silent Bob flash mob. And you know, everyone was like, really? So they dance? And Walter was like, is that what a flash mob is? But we liked the idea of like an army of Jay and Silent Bob, so we were like, ooh, what if we tried to break the record? What if we got the Guinness Book of World Records involved? And we try to break the record for the largest gathering of Jay and Silent Bob cosplayers ever assembled. And so we called up Guinness and we're like, we would like to try to break this record. And they're like, well, it doesn't exist yet, so it's going to be very easy to break. And so in my mind, I was like, shit, if we got one person, we win and shit. But they have a bare minimum, 250. So they're like, you got to deliver 250 people. And I was like, all right, fuck, let's try to do that. So we built a show around it, and we had a crowd of folks show up. It was raining in the beginning of the day, so a bunch of cats kind of tanked out of it, I think. But there was a moment where we didn't know if we were going to break the record, but spoilers, we did. And it was like 200.
Is there any way, sorry to cut you off, is there a way to zoom into this photo on the monitors? Does the camera go that big or no? Does it get closer? Sorry.
Motherfucker thinks he's Tony Stark. He's like, can I just throw that over there and build a 3D render?
Oh, look at this. It's hard to see, but you see there's... You can sort of see it's a panorama view of all the Bobs. So 284.
284 we got to. And it was pretty sweet, man.
Yeah, baby. It was cool. It was cool standing up on the stage. I took this photo because I was up on stage and telling everyone, like, all right, we're going to start in a few minutes, and we line up. And looking out and seeing all these people dressed as Jay and Bob was like, I got a little butterflies, I got a boner, tear rolled, and I was like,
oddly attracted to half the crowd.
yeah, and then I was thinking, the first thing I thought, I was like, how awesome would it be to just jump and stage dive and be in a fucking, like, surf the crowd with a bunch of Jay and Bobs grabbing my balls and my ass and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, crowd surfing, and so, it was really cool to see. But
the boys from Comic Book Men, Brian, Walter, Ming, and Mike, they all dressed up like us as well. And so Brian Johnson was dressed like Silent Bob, and he looked actually pretty good. And I was like, you look good, Brian. And he goes, your wife is here. I'm going to see how good I look. I'm going to try to fuck her. And he went over, and Jennifer was like, hi, Brian. And he goes, it didn't work.
And Walt was dressed dressed as Jay, and it's funny because I looked over and he was like this with my wife. I was like, oh, he's like, I'm gonna see. Oh, he did it. Just kidding.
He was like snooch to the nooch.
It was cool to see. Walt was dressed as Jay, Bri was Bob, and Ming was Bob.
Ming was the son of Bob.
Jay, yeah.
It was sweet, man. It was my 47th birthday, the 20th anniversary of the Stash. We shot it for the show. We broke a Guinness Book of World Record.
You got a key?
And they gave me the key to the city, and they called it Kevin Smith Day.
That was really sweet. The mayor was there and shit. He's like, you mean a lot to me. All of a sudden he got done, he was like...
Full service mayor. It was fantastic. To turn 47 kind of blew, but to turn 47 that way was actually kind of sweet. And I was very appreciative that you were there. Jay was hyping up the crowd and stuff like that. And at one point, they were very meticulous, the judges. Because it's not just like, if you got long hair, you're in.
Yeah.
There was a criteria that they had to judge everybody by. And it's me, I had my Silent Bob coat and shit like that. And I put on some long hair. And Jay didn't bring his costume, so at one point there was a question about whether he'd be counted as Jay and Silent Bob. But they made these store-bought costumes. There's a company called Fun.com that took out a license of the Jay and Silent Bob movie and made costumes that you go in around Halloween into a store and buy. Like my whole life I've always been going into costume stores and I'd see licensed costumes for movies and shit. Never once going like, they should do us because you just get a fucking beard, you spin your backwards baseball cap, you're halfway there. But they actually put them in bags.
It's awesome.
Like kind of cheap versions of the costumes that we wore in the movie. And the guy who's dressed like you, kind of suggests you at least, but the guy who looks like me looks more like Jason Biggs' version of something like that. He's very thin, and it's just like, why am I here? But we were able to give those costumes out. Jay was wearing one of those at one point.
I did. That's
convincing enough where my wife was like, I thought he was wearing his real costume.
No, they're good because it's like the black sweat tight pants from Jay and Bob. And then it's the yellow jacket. And so, in the movie, the yellow jacket's like a thick sort of, I don't say it's
like a
thick
windbreaker.
winter, but it's definitely a windbreaker thick. And this was thinner, but it's cool. And then there's the shirt that says Berserker.
Yeah.
So you got the shirt, the jacket, the pants, and then the wig, and that a beanie cap for Jay. And then the Bob had the thing, and what else?
Sure, it's the one costume hanging in the store where most of the kids walking past it would be like, what is that? And their grandparent would be like, that's Jay and Silly Bob. They were a comedy duo.
Stooge to the news. I have to go back really quick because I want to see, do you feel it's sappy as your friend? Do you find it sappy that when Kevin was posting these pictures, and he didn't mention, but it is funny because him and I see each other a lot, so we don't text and call each other that much just to be like, hey bro, what are you doing? And stuff, unless we're gonna go eat or whatever, or I'm coming over his house. And so he was away, and I was like, hey, can you talk right now? And he was like, oh yeah, is everything all right? You're okay, right? And I said, just call me. And then I called him. I was like, dude, man, I just want to say it's sweet, bro, because he had a picture, like he was saying, of his mom inside the church, and she was so happy. And it was like the next picture was him and the family. And I was sitting home, and I was like, that shit's sweet, man. Do you find it weird that I find it sappy?
I didn't find it weird. I thought it was very sweet. But when I got off the phone, my mom goes, who's that? I was like, that was Jason. She goes, what'd he say? I was like, he thought it was sweet that we took a picture together in Paris. And she goes, that phone call cost $50. He couldn't have texted that. And I was like, Mom, only one of you between you and Jay is on the expensive European trip. Shut the fuck up. No, she thought it was very, very sweet as well. I understand you finally saw Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. You didn't see those in theaters?
I didn't see it in theaters. I didn't see that or Wonder Woman. I know I'm horrible, but with Logan and we traveling, and then we're redoing our kitchen, whatever. But the point is, it's just been pretty crazy and hectic. So I haven't been able to go to the movies really. But yes, I finally saw it, and I've been wanting to talk to you about this part, so I fucking laughed out loud. Is when shit's flying and Mantis gets hit by the thing, and what's his name, the big dude?
Drax.
Drax. When the thing hits him, and he goes, watch out for that! but she already got hit. Oh my God, I was laughing. He kept saying,
That was your big question? You're like, I want to see if you laugh at funny things.
no, but I'm just saying
I thought you needed something explained to you.
No, I was just saying that it's all, I mean, look, there's so much more shit I'm saying.
That was fun.
But I just thought it was funny. I thought some of the bits Drax would say shit like, I don't know, he just had me cracking up. And I don't remember from the first one him being as funny, like him saying.
He gets to be the straight man, and so almost everything he says is hysterical. Like,
yes.
He's like, maybe they're after the batteries that Rocket stole. And they're like, what? He's like, dude. And he's like, no, nothing. This is what a mystery this all is.
Yeah, shit like that. Oh.
Really funny shit. And yes, one of my favorite moments though belongs to Rocket when they're talking about Yondu, and Drax goes, I thought Yondu was your father to Peter Quill. And out of nowhere, fucking Rocket goes, he's blue! And he holds this fucking angry face like, you idiot! Oh my God, that was the most honest, real human performance I've seen from a cartoon in my life. But what did it do for you emotionally? I posted a video the other day. I love the movie. I saw it 3 times in the theater, and it made me like it's wonderful. It's everything a movie should be. It's an adventure. It takes you on into a place. Like when we made movies, we never took people places. We took them to New Jersey. Like, you know, James Gunn took us to space, and like here's an alien world you've never seen before, and a talking tree and a talking raccoon, and all these people are friendly, and this guy's dad is a planet. All of this shit is like incredibly imaginative. Granted, we all know the source material is Marvel Comics, but it's sewn up in such a way that it reminds me of like a modern day Wizard of Oz. When you look at Wizard of Oz, like once they get into Oz, it doesn't look like anything anybody had ever seen in a movie before, and because of that, it's timeless. It doesn't look like, oh, this was shot in the fucking 50s or 60s during that one section, because you're in another land that never existed. Same thing for this. This movie will age incredibly well. 50 years, we'll still be watching those Guardians movies because they take place in a world where movies should take place. They take you somewhere different while still maintaining familiarity and giving you a little moral lesson on you. In the case of those movies, like, you know, we can all do it together. It's better than going it alone or something like that. So I love the movie, but there was I bought it on iTunes the other day, and I fucking watched it, and I was an emotional fucking mess.
Are you gonna say when they were tossing the ball back and forth, the baseball?
Did that do it for you?
A little bit, it did. Yeah, when he like made the ball, and all of a sudden they like pan back and they're throwing the ball back.
That to me was a payoff, because at one point he talked about like never playing catch with his dad, and then also he plays. No, that didn't make me. What gets me is all the shit toward the end with like spoilers. If you haven't seen it yet, 5, 4, cover your ears if you haven't, 3. How the fuck haven't you seen it? 2, 1. The death of Yanni. It's pretty powerful stuff. And then afterwards, the Ravagers show up and throw the funeral.
Oh yes.
Did you know what happened when you saw that? Did you get him?
I get a little, especially because at first they have the funeral and he goes out, and then you're saying when all of a sudden they come out and they're like, this is a Ravager funeral, and they start popping the guns and they cut to each character. Oh yeah, it got me a little. You showed up? They showed up? Yeah. And then at the end, when you watch the end, and it shows all of them together, Stallone and all those other characters, which I don't know. I want to ask you.
They're all from Guardians of the Galaxy, but that's not my point. You're skipping over the fucking good shit. You're like, yeah, it was emotional, but what about the end credits? Did you cry during that moment?
I didn't cry, but I got choked up. I definitely got choked up from that. I got choked up from the ball. But again, not one
Why did you get choked up from the ball, man?
Because I thought it was sweet how he's like, all of a sudden he's like, you're throwing the ball back and forth. He's getting to play catch with his father.
That's right, you never knew who your dad was, so that kind of thing is appealing to you. Star-Lord, man.
I started throwing the ball against the wall and played catch with myself. I'm like, Dad, you're a wall. This is a planet.
Dad, you're a wall?
Yeah, get it? Because this is a planet. Mine's at a house.
Who are you, Donald Trump Jr.? I watched that flick. I watched it at home the other morning, and it was like I got up at 5 in the morning to watch the movie, because I was like, nobody's going to be up. I'm going to just go fucking smoke weed and watch the shit out of this movie. And get like real, just naked, emotionally naked.
Sorry, right, one more thing, and I'm gonna stop cutting you off. It's funny because I know my wife texted you about work stuff, and you were like, "I'll call you later. I'm watching a movie," and I go, "Jordan, I bet he's watching Guardians." I knew it. Sorry, go ahead.
I was so buried in it.
Because it came out on iTunes just Tuesday. Yeah.
I watched like the first hour and 50 minutes of the movie, and boy, I was just locked and loaded, having a blast. And you know, he dies, the death scene happens, I was already crying at that. But the funeral scene destroys me. So I was like, oh fuck, I'm gonna put it on Facebook Live, you know, just because, like, it sounds stupid, but like, there's a friend of mine that's like, I love when you cry on Facebook Live. So I was like, all right. So I keep putting it up and shit. I cried like watching The Flash. I shot myself watching The Flash and crying. So, you know, I set it up. I was like, hey man, like I've been watching the movie for an hour and 50 minutes. I love this movie. It's my emotional porn and shit. It's joys, all the shit I talked about. And I was like, but now we're at the Ravager's funeral. We're gonna watch it together. They couldn't see it because I put the phone facing me, so they could hear the shit out of it, but they couldn't see the movie. All they could see was me. So they see me like, and I start it, and almost immediately, like, you know, the Cat Stevens song kicks in. And as soon as it does, like, you know, fucking a hand clutches my heart and my throat and shit. So I wind up ugly crying so hardcore. It's not like a dignified lone tear like a Native American who's like garbage or something like that. It is a flat out bawling where I'm like, ah! My tits are going up and down. Oh, it's a messy cry and stuff. And so I posted that, and you know, it's always weird because some people on the internet be like, why would you do that? But generally speaking, like, it got such a positive reaction. People were like, I was crying watching you, I couldn't even see the movie and shit. And James Gunn loved it. James Gunn like retweeted it, put it up on his Facebook. He's like, my favorite thing in the world, Kevin Smith crying at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy. It is so fucking good, man. The movie's so beautiful. I waited for you for so long to see it. I wanted to see it with you, but you wouldn't.
I know. No, it took me, I don't know how it took me this long, but it's funny because it's one of those moments where I'm driving and I'm like, holy shit, is when at the end, and it's like the coffin, she's like, I'm gonna build someone better. No, and it's like, I will call him Adam. I was like, Adam? And I've been watching.
You got much excited to get yoga.
Yeah, it's funny because Adam, and then I've been watching too much Buffy, the Vampire Slayer. And there's an Adam in that, right? So I'm like, Adam, that's another show. And I realized driving, I'm like, Adam Warlock! And I fucking was like, yes! So there's that, and then fucking Stan with the fucking, the Watchers.
That was cool.
And fucking, Howard the Duck in the bar. Oh, it was awesome. Just those little fucking...
I was gonna say, it's weird, your review of that wonderful movie are the things that happen in 2-second bursts that really have nothing to do with the plot. You're like, remember Stan? And I'm like, yeah, we see him every day.
I know, but those little bits I love. Like, it's so, like, fucking...
Those movies are made with absolute fucking love. His brother plays Kraglin, the guy who was Yondu's, like, first mate or whatever. The one who when the Ravager's funeral shows up, lets out that scream, which is like one of the greatest performances, no bullshit, in the history of fucking cinema.
Well, next to Gilmore Girls.
He was in that. But that one fucking beat, man, like, you gotta convey so much. The audience learned way back at the beginning, in the first, 15 minutes of the movie, maybe first 12 minutes of the movie, when Yondu and Sylvester Stallone's character's car face off, and he's like, you'll never hear the fucking horns of blah, 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 the colors will never flash over your grave. That's setup information that happens early in the movie. 2 hours later, they provide the payoff for it, man. And when it happens, it's like devastating. It just rips your damn heart out and stuff. That's such great storytelling. But I was wondering if it was going to you don't really cry at anything.
No. There's stuff I cry a lot at shows and stuff, but I realize it's like when the kid goes missing. But I feel like I don't often
You
cry.
cry when a kid goes missing on
Like,
TV?
yeah, like,
So you must never watch those Law and Order.
No, I do, but I get teared up.
You'd be a fucking mess. They're like, this week, another kid goes missing. You're like, turn it off!
No, it depends. It's like the whole, like, when the parents are like,
so weird.
find my kid! You gotta find my kid! Because I always think, like, I can't fathom what I'd feel if my kid went missing. And you can see the actors, like when you're watching the shows, how panicky they are, and some are angry, like the cops are like, we're doing the best we can. I'm like, no, you fucking do better. You know what I mean? And you're like, yeah, do fucking better. But you're watching this side of the show because you know the cops are doing the best they can. Shit, they're kicking down doors and sliding people around, but the parent doesn't care because they just are panicking and shit. So I get, but I don't.
You're really invested in these fucking shows, man.
I'm telling you, I get
That
upset.
doesn't do it for me. If somebody's like, find my kid, I'm watching the show, I'm like, but if I'm watching Guardians of the Galaxy, and fucking rockets like, they came. I'm like,
No, and I got teared up for that too. I'm just saying I didn't get to the point, you know, like I'm picturing like when you start snot runs down and you're drooling, you're like, and then you try to talk, you're like, and then the fucking cop, you know, that you can't spit shit out.
yeah, I didn't understand that at all.
So I don't get that crying. I just get more like, fuck me, yeah, motherfucker. And my eyes well up and maybe one tear drops and I go, because I taste good. Nah. But Wonder Woman too, I really dug Wonder Woman.
You didn't see it?
I did. It's in the hotel and I got to watch it and I was excited. I dug that too, man. It was fucking, it was good. It was cool to see it open up with fucking a thing from Batman and shit. The suitcase, she opens it up from Wayne and he's like, I want to get to know you. But the whole time when they're on that boat.
What fucking version of the movie did you see, man? Your version of Wonder Woman opens with Batman sending her a dick pic? I want to get to know you. Here's my bat hole.
That would be awesome. You know, she opens the suitcase.
Remember?
Yeah, and it's the picture of her with all her buddies and shit, and it's like, and then all.
It's like 1 minute of like 2 hours, and my favorite part was the first
No, I'm
30
not saying it's
seconds.
my favorite part. I'm just saying that to me it was awesome that it got set up with like that picture you saw in the last movie, and now it starts off Wonder Woman with this and that same picture and saying like, hey, I found this. But and then like my other favorite part, which I was hoping, is when they're on the boat and he was like, she said, come lay with me. And I thought right there, she was like, I've never fucking seen a dick. Oh shit. And they were gonna fuck on the boat. Because I would think as a woman, she would just be like, oh, you're the first man I've seen.
Yeah, that would be a woman's first instinct.
It would, but
Let me take this and put it in my mouth. My first trip to man's world.
I dug it. I dug when she was like, we can't let the thing go. And the very first time they show the costume and she's with the machine gun, the big Gatling gun. And yeah,
I like
it was
when
dope.
in the Amazonians are jumping off the cliff and just firing arrows and shit.
Swinging. I started flipping. I like when she was a little girl and she was like, Dadish. Remember when she was up on the hill like pretending to fight?
Meanwhile, they're like, I hope nobody steals her.
I hope no man
What if she
takes
was
her.
missing? What have you been up to besides seeing movies that we all saw months ago?
Watching movies, building lots of Legos. I've been on a Lego kick, not very exciting. But I've been buying, I can't help but buy, I've been watching the Freemakers Lego cartoon, which is awesome. And I've been like, I watch it and I'm like, I'm going to Walmart to get Lego. I'm gonna get the blade, the arrow fucking ship or whatever. Anyway, I've been like building Legos. But when I'm home, mainly I've been hanging out with my kid a bunch. It's getting harder and harder for me to leave because now the kid is always like, Daddy, I need you. Daddy, I need help. But she says everything wrong. She goes,
Boy, she's asking the wrong person.
she's like, Daddy, play you. Daddy, play with you. Like, instead of play with me, she'll be like, Daddy, play you. And she's been pooping, she's potty training, she's doing really good, but it's so, I didn't realize how much, she's like, you're changing a diaper and shit, it's still like, oh God, this is a sticky one. But now she sits on, we have like a little kid's toilet, and it has a little flusher that's electronic, you flush it, and it just makes the sound, but there's no water. But notice what, it's...
I'm sure your wife bought that for you, not the kid.
No, she wanted because you know what? Realizing kid, even a 2-year-old dude, she drops fucking bombs. Like, and I'm telling you, and there's no water in there, so she always asks me to sit. If I'm home, she'll go, Daddy, you go. And she makes me sit on the toilet. And she makes me pull my pants down and pretend to poop with her. So I gotta like pull my pants
Oh my
down.
God, you're getting directed by your child.
Yeah, and then she'll sit there and go poo in her little toilet that matches to our toilet, but there's no water in it. So all of a sudden she'll be like, and then she goes like this. She goes, 4 poops. 7 poops. I swear, it's amazing.
7 poops? What are you feeding this kid?
Dude, I'm not kidding you. It's gross, and I would show you, but she like...
Wait, taking pictures? Sending to the medical journals?
No, her grandmother did, because when she first started, like when Jordan and I were gone, we're like, please let us know she poops, not in her pants, she poops in the toilet. So as proof, her grandma sent the picture and sent it to me and Jordan going, look, she went poo-poo on the potty. And it fucking literally filled up the little mini potty that's this big though. This is how big the hole is.
Why didn't you text back, I would have taken your word for it?
Seriously, I would have. But at the same time, I was proud. I was like, she pooped on the potty! But she gets out and she'll be like, Mommy, I did it! And Mommy's laying on the bed and she has to pick up the little bowl because it comes off. So you dump it and clean it. And she'll pick it up and she'll go, Mommy, look, I went poo-poo, I did it! And Mommy's always like, oh, God. But, oh my God, dude.
You guys set the fucking bar for achievement very low in that house.
But what's funny is I'm like, all right, she's like, because my old lady, she won't ever admit it and get mad probably that I even say this, but my old lady will be like, I have to go to the bathroom, I'll be right back. And literally like, she'll leave, and then I'll be like, oh, did you go? She'll be like, oh yeah, I'm done. Or I'm like, yeah, oh shit, get him, Rocket. And like, I almost watch a whole movie while I'm just dropping a deuce. My kid's the same way. She sits on the toilet for like 20 minutes. I'm like, yes, Logan's just like me. She likes to sit and poop, and she watches her iPad, or she reads a book, and goes for like 20 minutes. And she's like, no, she's just constipated. You gotta stop feeding her that shit. And her shit is like, I'll be like, here, don't tell your mom, here's an animal cracker before dinner. You know, but she hates it. She's like, don't give her animal crackers before dinner. We fight constantly. We don't fight about much, but we fight about the kid all the time because like I'll do shit like that. Because to me, it's like, it's an animal cracker. She's not gonna, if she's fucking hungry, she's gonna want to eat dinner, even though she had one little animal cracker.
I know, but then she's filling up the bowl with 7 shits.
Exactly, and the animal crackers are in there, and she's like, 8 poops. But yeah, so I don't even know, but she, so me and her have been fighting about that a bunch. But anyway, it's been a lot of baby chilling and hanging. And then I just was in, again, I got to be part of the awesome Jam Bob Guinness. And I was in Florida a couple weeks ago. That was fun. You know, nothing too exciting. I've been sitting, doing a lot of these, which I love, man. Some kid came up to me earlier. I know he's here, but it was really sweet, man. He because this podcast and me doing the countdown and stuff, he was saying him listening to the podcast and keeping track of my days and being accountable to everybody and stuff, that he's, that it's really helped him and stuff, and he gave me bigger. I don't know, my point is, it's just been really, I love coming to these for many reasons, but not buying all the Legos, I'm gonna get in trouble when I get home. Like, I already got 3 boxes of Legos. But anyway, and my old, but this dude was really sweet. He said that he listens to podcasts and it's been a big help to him. So, but I've seen that. This is what I'm doing.
You've spent time here in the city, haven't you? I've been in and out of the city, but I've never spent a prolonged period of time. Were you here when they shot the town?
I stopped by when they shot the town.
Were you there when they
Gone Baby Gone. I spent a whole about a month here, dude. It was fun, and I spent another thing that happened today. Another dude came up to me, and this happens every once in a while, and it's so crazy. Like 15 years ago or so, I was stuck out here. It was not so much Boston, but I was in between here and Rhode Island, and there was a bar there. And fucking this dude came up and he's like, dude, man, I met you like 15 years ago at Jerky's. Now, when I went to Jerky's, dude, it was when I was stuck out here for like a month. And I used to go to this bar and just drink, and I'd get so fucked up and I was a mess. And it's like a blur. But anyway, so then I spent time here. I got to spend time here with Gone Baby Gone, and that was really cool because I got to see the whole behind the scenes of everything, seeing Ben shoot. I think it's
Oh,
Ben's
because
first.
you've never been on a movie set before, huh?
No, I have. Well, I know, but usually when we're together, it's like you're directing, I get to watch you, but I'm also focusing on not forgetting my fucking snooch to the nude, $15, little man, put that shit in my hand. If that money, no, I'm just kidding. So this one, I was all behind the scenes, and it was fun. So I spent like a month here, then I came back, and I was here for about a week or so when the town was being shot. So I got to see a little bit of the bank heist in the beginning. They were shooting that, so that was really fucking cool. But yeah, man, I've spent some fucking time in Boston. I lost a bet. I've told people, I've showed a couple of people this today. You can't really see it from back there, but if you see me tomorrow, there's a B that I covered up. You sort of still see it. So I know there's some probably Boston Red Sox fans here. So it's the Boston Red Sox B. So in 2001, I made a bet. I'm a Yankees fan, but I'm not a big sports guy. I know, boo, but I'm not a real big sports guy, so I'm not like, fuck you, Yankees rule! Because I like the Yankees, but it's because I grew up in Jersey, and that was sort of the team that people wore, and I was like, oh, cool, Yankees.
I grew up in Jersey, and I don't worship the Yankees.
And I don't worship them either, but I'm saying it's sort of the team, you root for the team that people root for locally in New York, New Jersey.
Sure, before we had the Devils, we were kind of either Rangers or Flyers.
And now, yeah, so same for me. Hockey's the Devils, because you guys like Devils, so I like Devils. But so anyway, so I'm a Yankees fan. I said, yo, the Yankees are going to beat Boston, and they're going to win at least 3 out of the 4 games, and they're going to wipe them out. They didn't. Boston won. So I lost the bet. The bet was you get a tattoo of a B. So I made the bet with Ben Affleck. Because as you know, Affleck's a big Boston fan. And so this is a time when I was...
All the Bostons?
A big Boston fan.
Either big Boston fan or Sox fan, but nobody in the history of the Boston Red Sox franchise has ever been like, I'm a Boston's fan.
He's a Red Sox or Sox. It's got to be Red Sox because it's the White Sox. He's a Red Sox fan, as you know, and so I told him, look, Yankees are going to win. They didn't. So I went through with the bet. He said, you got your tattoo, leave it for like 2 years, 3 years. He said, forever? He said, 3 years is good. So I got to be here, but I think it's a great story because what I would have won if I won was he had just gotten a brand new GSXR 1000 motorcycle. It's really sweet, and I was like, oh, that's so sweet. And he's like, if you win, I'll give it to you, but Boston's so good, I know they're gonna win, and you can have the bike if you win. I lost, got the tattoo, but it was awesome because a few months later for Christmas, he wound up giving me the bike anyway.
No!
He did, so it was.
How are you ever gonna fucking learn if he gives you the bike?
But I still got the tattoo on, so I went through with the bet, and that's what he said. He goes, I didn't think you'd go through with it, getting a tattoo of a team that you're not a fan of. So
I would have pushed it a lot harder. I would have been like, you have to get a Boston tattoo on your dick.
Oh, yes. But it's like the B, but when I get a hard on and shit, it says Boston. Yes. Boston. I loved when I was out here, I got to go around, and so one of the things I got to do with Gone Baby Gone is I hung out with one of Ben's producers, and me and her had to go around and record accents from people who were locals and grew up here like for years. They lived here their whole life.
Flavor, the tone of...
Yeah, and oh my God, it was so cool to hear like people that grew up here, really lived here, like has a strong accent. Like we did, the one girl was a friend of my buddy's mom, and she's like, yeah, there's fucking marbles. I can't do the accent, I wish I can, but how she said marbles and car and the bar and all that shit was so thick, like full on. So I don't know, it was awesome. I was like, this is awesome. I get to go around and record and stuff. So it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Sex with somebody from Boston?
Did I what?
Ever have sex with somebody from Boston?
I did.
Did they bust the voice out? They're like, fuck me in the bar.
It was actually...
You're fucking me. It's Jay and Storm and Bob, and Jay is fucking me.
Actually, it was awesome. I met the girl that I met out here. We went out, we got some food. I love, so you got the accent down and shit.
I do. Oh, he's fucking me so hard, get me a doctor. knocking my bottom out.
And we fucked in the park though. So say the park. So we went out to eat. She drove.
What kind of fucking animal are you, man? You're representing New Jersey. You come to Boston, you're like, let's fuck outside.
It wasn't my idea, it was her. So we went out, we got food, we went to the bar, and then we got some food, and then we came back and she was dropping me off where I was staying. So I had
in the park.
No, seriously. And I had a roommate, and I was like, oh, you know, my friend, the person I'm staying with's upstairs and shit. She's like, just let's hang out in the park and we'll talk a little bit. And so we were hanging out and shit. She had a skirt on, and I remember we were chatting, and there's that whole like, all right, so I'm gonna say goodnight. I wonder if we'll maybe smooch a little bit, and then I'll probably go up to the thing, and that's it. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow. Right. And we started making out and shit. And all of a sudden, she fucking grabbed my piece, started jerking it off and shit. I was like, oh shit, I'm getting jerked off in the park.
She's like, oh fuck, what's this?
And so she just started jerking it and shit, and all of a sudden she fucking jumped around and straddled me, pulled her panties aside, and I was like, half, oh, half, in the park. Oh fuck this park.
She's like, go farther than the park, take it to the green monster.
It was good, it was fun.
That's what's cool about your life. You could probably go all around the globe. Like, we'd be in any city, somewhere, someplace, and you'd be like, did you ever have sex with somebody from the city? And you're like, yes.
A few cities.
I'm like, the closest I can get is like, I've had sex in Boston, but like with someone who wasn't from Boston. So I didn't hear the accent. I just heard the normal accent of, hurry up, Kevin.
Do you have someone from outside of, there were some people from outside of Jersey.
That I've had sex with?
Yeah.
They'll never own up to it, but yeah.
You got some Minneapolis, some fucking Minnesota.
You've had Minneapolis. I had sex in Minneapolis, but you have had sex with Minnesotans who are like, oh, you betcha.
Oh, yeah,
you want to fuck? Oh, yeah. Let's do it in the park.
The Minnesota was, again, no bragging.
Here, do you know where that park was?
I could figure it out, yes, because I know it's close to Harvard, which is right down the road, and if you keep driving, there's a mall.
Was she a Harvard girl?
No, I don't know. No, she wasn't.
I would hope not. They seem to be smart over there.
I mean, what's wrong with that? I mean,
take your pick. Which is dumber, fucking J. Mewes or fucking him in the park?
Both combined pretty stupid, but, you know, one for the... No, it's not, it wasn't... I think park's fun. There's something fun about that. I'm sure she thought so, too.
The kids playing there the next day thought it was fun as well, when they're like, whoop!
They sat on the bench, they're like, Mommy, tie my shoe. Oh, fuck, what's this?
Mommy, what's this? All right, I think that'll do it. We're just about ready to start the show, ladies and gentlemen. How many people, for our own edification, how many people have ever heard the podcast, Jay and Silent Bob Get Old? Put your hands together. James, Silent Bob, Get Old, put your hands together real quick. The percentage out in the audience right now who are baffled as fuck, going like, why is the fat one talking? We don't do James, Silent Bob, the characters for our podcast, James, Silent Bob, Get Old. We just kind of perform under that name. Really, the podcast is all about talking about his life. It'd be weird if I was here in character just staring at everybody for 90 minutes, so I tend to talk as well. But what we talk about is this intervention podcast we have. We do it once a week where we gather, sit down, make sure he's staying on the straight and narrow. Jason used to have a hard time with the drugs, the heroin, the Oxycontin, anything he could be on, motherfucker was on. And so we found that this podcast has been very helpful in keeping him on the straight and narrow, man. Now, for those in the audience who are going, what the fuck, I don't want to get preached to, don't worry about it. He's sober, but I'm baked as a cake right now. It's a weed legal state, isn't it? Or it's about to be. Civilization. No, we don't judge people here. We have one very simple simple mantra we adhere to: handle your fucking high. We're all adults, life is hard, and you should be able to go out and get drunk or get high, get fucked up, check out of your head and skin if you need to every once in a while. But you gotta be able to put your life back together and go back to work the next day. That's part of the deal of society we have with each other. Some people can't do that. Some people make a wreck of their fucking life and start taking everybody down or going down on everybody. Particularly for drug money, I guess that's what's going on in that little sketch.
Just once.
But we found that this podcast has been very, very helpful in keeping away from that area. But before we talk about being clean and sober, we like to talk really filthy dirty. And we turn to Jason Mewes and say, tell us a sex story, Jason Mewes.
All right, thank you. All right, sex story. This is going to be local Boston, but it's not the pub. This one was with my old lady. So we were out here doing a show years and years ago. It was a horror show, Rocket Shop, but whatever. All right. No, I'm good. But she came with me and shit. We were staying at this hotel. And so while we were there, this had one of those, it had like the bath, like the bed, and then there's the bathroom, and there's a tub, and they happen to have a window there, so if you're on the bed, you can see in the bathroom. Like right now, you could be in the bathroom taking a shit, and I can see you on the bed.
Well, that's my nightmare.
What if you looked over and you were shitting? I was like this.
I'd be like, I want to know what part's turning them on, because I need to stop it immediately.
Except the tub was there. My old lady, so my lady's like, I want to take a bath. I'm like, all right. I'm laying on the bed, watch TV, and I look over, and she's a little naked, and I'm like, oh, shit. And even though she sees me, she like sort of ignores me, and she's getting undressed, shit, filling the tub up, and she keeps bending over a little bit, and I start getting like, whoa, so I'm like, and then she's like filling the tub up, and she's like, you fucking pig. And I'm like, what? I'm just fooling around and shit. So she gets in, and now she's in the tub, so I can't really see her, but she's like this.
Right.
But I'm already a little hard, so I'm like looking at her, and I'm shit, and I'm like, why don't I come in there and we can take a bath together? She's like, no.
Which, even if you're my husband, that sounds threatening. Like, why don't I come in there and take my clothes off?
Like, I'm just why don't we take a bath together, woman? No, I was just saying, come on, why don't we take a bath?
That's so fucked up. Getting in a bathtub with two people is a thin person thing. I've never once have I said to my wife, let's get in the tub, because she's like, look, one of us already got in the tub.
Come on, but I thought it looks a little sexy, right? If you're in the tub and I'm like this, wouldn't it turn you on a little bit?
I would take a picture of it and send it to your mother-in-law in exchange for the poop shot. I'm like, I got you beat. This is even weirder.
It's just my hand and my cock like this. So I'm like, come on, let me get in the tub. She's like, no, I gotta do stuff. And so she's washing now, she's washing her legs, and I'm like, oh, fuck this. So I come over and shit, and she's in the tub, and I'm like, come on, let me get in. She's like, you're not getting in. And so I'm like, come on then, I'm just gonna sit here and jerk it. She's like, don't fucking do that, you pig. And I'm like, all right. So I like pretend I'm walking away, but then I come over and shit, and with my hard dick, I'm like, she's like, stop that shit. I'm like, come on. And then I do this, which she really hates.
You fucked her armpit?
I got a little bit in there, like I put in my pit. She's like, come on, all right, just fucking get in here, get off me. So
Oh my god, that worked? You put your dick on me and fuck my armpit, I'm getting out of the tub. But she's like, fuck it, come in.
So I get in the tub, and she's like, all right, we're gonna get in the tub, but we're not doing anything, and shit, the tub doesn't work so well. I'm like, yeah, I know. But so I'm sitting in the tub, and shit, and we're sitting there chatting for a minute. But I still have a hard on and shit, and so I start poking my shit out, like my helmet. I'm like, here comes the periscope. And she's like, cut it out, man, what the fuck? She giggles a little bit, but I'm like, I made her laugh, all right. And so I get underneath and shit, and I start trying the rubber clip piece and shit, which, is back here, right, or clip piece.
Yeah, that's exactly where it is.
So I'm like going there and I'm like start to rub and she's like, no, I'm right. And so I fucking rub a little bit.
How awesome that your lady eventually just gives up. It's not so much she wants you, she's just like, fine.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Do it quick.
Totally. And it would have been that shit, but I rubbed a little bit and then I was like, come on, give me a little smooch. So then like I got in there and we're smooching and I'm like, whoop, 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 whoop. That's the nipples, me playing with the nipples. Whoop, whoop, whoop,
Do you make the sound effect at the same time?